Alright, welcome and welcome back. Today we are continuing our play on Planetbase. So the last time that we were playing, we had basically finished about, I would say maybe halfway through the base building of our Mars-ish colony. So bust open the roof here. So if you don't remember, we got enough of our self-sustaining stuff up, and we have a processing plant for processing ores and bioplastics. We do need some biologists to sort of increase our ability to provide what we need and create our tissues. Looks like, as we had last time, we had an impact on our brand new landing pad by a meteor. Luckily it's the landing pad, nobody was out there, but it will require some repairing, which just takes somebody's time to go out there and repair it. So we did go ahead and build a command center. We do have a security place for a guard if we do happen to get a guard. There's our nice little robot repairing that platform. The platform is going to provide us with some randomly generated amount of colonists and an occasional trader, so we can offload some of these extra foods for some cash. Alright. We do have a large water pump, a large wind turbine, and a very large solar panel. Well, it says medium, but you don't get a large one, so we do have a medium water tank. Again, you don't get a larger one. And all of our dining is set up properly. We have a small, well, it says medium, but it is the smallest one of the oxygen generator, which holds up to 30 people, I believe. Our landing pad is all set up. I'm going to go ahead and speed up time a little bit and give us some time to build up our resources. Alright, so it looks like we are actually getting a shuttle. It looks like a colonist ship. That means we're going to get some colonists. We got a achievement for expansion. Go ahead and click on that. Managed to get new colonists to arrive at our base. Expansion. Alright, so let's take a look at who we got. We have a biologist, medic, and a biologist, which is good because that means we're going to have a balance of food coming in then. So that means we don't need much biologists, and we don't need much medics. Engineers doesn't hurt. Guards won't hurt. Might want to still keep a biologist in mind just in case. There we go, that seems like a good balance. So now we look at our chart here. 3 workers, 4 biologists, 2 medics, an engineer, total 10. So we have 8 beds. Go ahead and put down another bed for other 2. So as far as resources, the resources are coming in like this. They go to the ore, you get the ore and the starches, and they go to storage. These 2 will process the ores and the starch into bioplastic and metal. Then right now we have bioplastic and metals being required for spares. It generates 2 spares per 1 bioplastic and metal. So once it reaches the cap, which is currently set at 10, it will let those resources go to other things. And then we do have our medic station, which is generating medical supplies, which aren't really being used, but the plants will continue to generate the medicinal herbs, or medical plants, whatever you want to call them. Alright, but we'll go ahead and wait for some of these resources to continue to develop and watch for other events. And immediately we get a sandstorm. So let's go ahead and pop on the alarm, if I can select it. There was one worker out there, so he's gonna sort of make his way back in. And we'll wait for this to pass as well, and wait for more resources, then we'll look at building our next items, whatever that may be. Alright, so it looks like we have some more colonists coming in. We have one engineer, which is good. And that's it. One engineer. So you get colonists based on the total, I guess, happiness of people on your colony and their needs. And the total population and so forth. So overall, we don't need an engineer as much, don't need really a medic. Could use a worker. That's about right. We have somebody who's broken a limb. And the workbench for the medical supplies actually does take up bioplastic and medical plants. So whenever we were having issues before, that was probably because we had that going full. Alright, so he's being healed, so again, we're gonna wait until we get more stuff going on. And immediately we get a trading ship. So trading ships, you basically can trade whatever resources you need. The only thing is that your people are going to have to literally go out there and give it to them. We can trade for like the glass turbine patents for 400, but we're not going to get 400 out of just food. So I'm going to drop that down to 20. That'll get us him. That'll get him full. We could trade for the guns, but we really don't need. Like, we don't really require anything like that. So we can sell a couple medicinal plants because they're a little more powerful as far as trading value. And then we are trading for money, so he's taking 50% commission though, which is not that great. But they do take a lot of commission in general. I think the highest I've seen is 70%, 75 maybe. Just like, why even try, right? So we're getting 120 for a value of 180. Okay. So it'll take a while for all these things to be unloaded. We'll go ahead and wait for that to be loaded up into the trade ship and see what our place looks like afterwards. Alright, so I will note that looks like we are getting a little empty on it. It's pretty good. But I will note that one of the least favorite tasks for people to do is carry stuff. So all these people carrying everything, they're probably taking a hit a bit to their morale. But honestly, their morale is pretty decent in general, so I'm not sure if it's something we really need to worry about. but it looks like we've gone down a little bit as far as our percentage of total filled. It's just that we generate a lot of food. Vegetables in general. You'll notice that even with our increased amount of biologists, or 2 additional biologists, it's still not quite keeping up with our demand of maintenance on these plants. And still haven't got them to keep up with the tissue synthesizer. Of course, it would probably help if they didn't have to carry everything, right? So we have a couple meat generated from the tissue synthesizer. And we're almost back up to where we were. Almost. Have a few spares being created. Let's go ahead and look at our next building here. See what we can do. So we do need to start building up to like tourists, to where we can have sort of visitors come and pay us for stuff. Looks like we have another ship landing. Looks like another trader. Might just give him like 3. What's his exchange rate? 45%? Not bad. Should have used him on the all that other stuff. And some of these are not quite worth it, like I believe, yeah, metal value alone is 15, but spares are 15, so you might as well just sell the metal and the bioplastic separately to them than to just sell them, because you'd get 25 for the same and less work than you would for a spare, which is 15. So the market there doesn't really make sense. But I don't have anything I need with him, so again we're just gonna go ahead and sell, I guess, for this value. And look back at our placement. So we need a robotics facility so that we can build and repair robots. Robots basically just go up to it and get repaired instead of having an engineer come and find them. Bars, I generally not have any issue with it unless we're having like some major morale issues for some reason. Cabins, they're comfortable beds, but it really doesn't make much difference if I still have room in here. So we don't need a canteen, we already have one. Splitting up canteens tends to cause some AI problems, I think. And it looks like we have a colonist ship. So let's see what we're getting. Looks like 2 workers. Yep, and they're going right to work. So I am okay with that. So we'll put that at 20, 50... 20... Yeah, that's more than 100, I know. $20, there you go. Oh, wow. Biologists actually got caught up, so we might just go ahead and pause the whole colonist side of it until we get more needs. So it might be time to expand on the other side of things. So what I'm working towards is building one of these landing pads, these large starports, and one of these signposts so that we get a little more popularity. This game has a mechanic to where you have like a prestige, and that's what that sign will increase, as well as visitors visiting. And your prestige also determines like how well you get colonists coming into the base and things like that. Peace or welfare is of the colonists themselves, and that determines that as well. So let's go ahead and build something. See, multi-dome is usually what I build for additional morales instead of a bar, but it rarely gets used. But it is sort of a spacer to get us further out here. And I can always build just a small one instead of a large one. So the control center is what I'm going to be using to, I guess, provide that extra link. I'm trying to decide if I want it this way or this way. Probably do it this way. And then they'll just go out there and build that real quick. And this will provide them more diverse entertainment or morale boosters. And if you look at the construction bots, the top line is for their overall maintenance, meaning that they can be repaired back to full on it. The bottom is for their overall integrity of the systems, which once it goes down, it is gone. They return to a couple of their base parts as scrap. Alright, so we have that built. So the next is going to be to go ahead and build an airlock towards the area that we're going to want them to come in from. Now, even though it does show it going the wrong way, it will still put it in the right location. So we're going to build it this way with this connector. Hopefully this doesn't block us in, because that would be terrible. It actually might. Let's go ahead and rethink our objections here. How far out can we build? Like this? Here we go. And this guy is broken down, so somebody's going to repair him, same as him. Good thing we have 2 engineers. And too bad bots can't repair them. Other bots. We have a trader incoming, which I don't believe we're going to need any particular trading. We can sort of get rid of some of our extra stock again, but... And then medical supplies do sell for a bit. Again, it'd be more valuable to just sell the plastics along with the plants, probably. Let's see, that would be 20, so actually no. In this case, you'd actually be more valuable to sell the medical supplies just by a little bit, which is probably how it should be. So we'll sell a couple of those, sell maybe 4 of those, get us to about 120. Now we have a carrier bot option that we can buy here, but I kind of want to buy the blueprints for it so that we can at least build them. So for now, we'll just go with cash. Cold, hard, invisible electronic cash. Oop. So he can only give us 43 anyway. So we might go ahead and just take the bot as a bonus. Although he's taking 65% commission, so we might just not want to deal with him that much. There we go. So that's an even sort of trade. And we'll go ahead and let it run while everything gets built. Alright, so we're all set up here as far as our second airlock. We have some room for some equipment, so I'm going to go ahead and put some random items in here. I think that'll be all for now. Let me put another one of these in here. Even though I really don't like using up the metal, so maybe not. So even though I let it run a little bit, didn't really generate much additional resources. We're still processing all that ore and such, so I'm going to go ahead and pop down an extra one of these ore processors though, because it looks like we're getting a little behind on that, as well as the starch. So it'll give workers more space to process that. Alright, and we'll wait for those to get built, for some stuff to come in. A lot of it is just waiting on the economics. And then once we get that all set up, we're going to look at either placing a robotics facility to get the new robots set up with a repair bay, and then looking at getting that large landing pad. Alright, so we got a bit of a trader coming down. Should probably look at turning off the traders for now, because a lot of them aren't really offering me what we need. So we did offer a drill bot, which basically is a miner. It just constantly goes unless it needs to be repaired, and it works about as fast as 2 miners, I think. And then you could buy some alcoholic drink for people that are just feeling bad, but they don't really have a place to drink it other than the cafeteria, which I don't even know if they'll use it that way. You can buy ores, medicinal, semiconductors, which we're not even into yet. Looks like our food is doing okay. I'm not going to sell any more because we actually went down a little bit instead of going up, but this went up. Let's sell a couple of these. Let's see how the exchange rate is. 50%. It's okay. We can work with that, right? We'll just go with that. Alright, and while they get that all traded out, we're going to continue to wait for more materials. Alright, so the first bot has died. Looks like he died somewhere around the storage room. But I believe he just turns into a bioplastic and a steel and just goes away. So, let's see. Yeah, it was our construction bot? No. It was our carrier bot. Our carrier bot has passed on to another life, or to be recycled to another life, I guess. Construction bot will probably be next. And we're still sort of building up the resources here. It's been a lot faster. And of course we have a meteor that fell on one of our connectors. Nobody was in it, so nobody died, but this connector is basically unusable until somebody comes and repairs it. And somehow it still carries oxygen or something, but it doesn't have any oxygen in it. See, this has oxygen, but it's not being used, so maybe it just has whatever it was in it. But the airlock seal, everything's fine, it just needs to be repaired, and then the oxygen pumps back into it once the airlock's open. So at this point it is usable, I think. It just needs to be fully repaired so people can walk through it. Alright, so let's go ahead and look at getting that robotics facility up. Really, we never really need a large robotics facility, just need a regular one. So I'll go ahead and place this here. We could do it here, and I figure why not. So let's go ahead and pop that there. He's almost done repairing that. But we'll wait for that to be built and then we'll start putting up some more stuff. Alright, so we're all set up there. It actually went quicker because we had this connection closer to the location. But we're going to go ahead and do a bot auto repair, which is actually going to require 2 of the circuits. We're going to put it closest to the entrance, but that means that we're also going to have to create something to make those circuits. And I'm going to go ahead and limit our circuit creators to 2 extra ones. And looks like we have a trader. So our food is pretty much staying as standard. I'm not really going to sell much of that. Put a couple of those out there maybe. He's 40% commission, so it's not too bad. He has a constructor bot and a driller bot, but the only thing I'd really want is a carrier bot, and he's not offering blueprints for either, so I'm not really worried about it. So we can get 36 for the 2. I'll be a little greedy, I guess. Since these aren't really going down much, I'll put some of those in there. $89 for the bunch. Go ahead and pop that out. We're still on fast mode, but that's okay. We don't need to slow down. So the semiconductors are going to do the same thing as the other ones, spares, just 1 of each resource in order to create 1. Which still seems kind of weird, but you'd think it would create 2. And I guess it does make sense with the spares, because I just realized that one of the spares sells for like 20 or whatever, and while each one of these sells for like 10 and 15. So 30 for the bunch, and then 40 for the bunch on these, so if I'm remembering right. So they're processing those into semiconductors, and we'll wait for them to build that lovely repair system. And then once that's done, we will need to build a bot workshop, which is 2 metal and 1 plastic, which we can go ahead and just do now. Ooh, that was a close one. So yeah, got a trader coming in. Had a meteor barely miss one of our main pipes, which I don't think anybody's in it, but still. As far as everything wanting to sell, our meat got back up, but the vegetables are still sitting there. We have an extra spare, but I don't really like selling spares that much. And he doesn't really have anything I want either. So, I mean, he's at 40% commission, but still. Let's go ahead and give him a few meat. Throw him a bone. That's about all we do. Yeah, that meteor hit right there, which is, whew, close. But otherwise we're still waiting for that semiconductor to be created so we can create this Autobot repair. The carrier bot is the only thing we can build as far as bots right now. But it's pretty much getting prepared. It does require a semiconductor as well. Whenever they break down, they basically go back to metal and plastic, but the semiconductor is gone. Power's still doing okay. We're not actually getting to the low point. And beds, ooh, that time it hit, but this time it hit on the power connector. So it'll be a quick fix, no big deal. Just means that whatever water is being used or stored can't be done. But I'm gonna go ahead and create another bed because I think I got a little bit more people than beds still. Go ahead and check on that. So we have a total of 13 people. 4 biologists, 5 workers, 2 engineers, 2 medics, and no guards. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14. So that'll fill our needs. And it looks like we have our repair bay up, and our construction bot is going ahead and getting some maintenance done. He is pretty much close to end of life though. So semiconductors are still being made so we can make more robots to help us out with all our carrying needs. And then we're still creating resources. I might start selling bioplastics because that's getting kind of crazy. I'm trying to keep our medical stuff down as well. That way we can just sell medical supplies and use some of the bioplastics. But the bioplastics are coming pretty quick. Alright, so we'll just stand by while we wait for the next amount of materials. Alright, so it looks like our next bot bit the big one. So it reverts back to the basic compounds, or components, which then get thrown into the pile. So, we've also built another carrier bot, and since that last one took a crap, there's room in our limits for one more bot, so they're going to go ahead and jump into building another bot. And I really wanted to try to get a landing pad done. We'll see if we'll be able to do it, because we need, I believe, 10 metal to get it done. To get a starport. So we're probably going to build it just right out here. I'll go ahead and place it. Another one for the connector. And been trading a little bit with these guys, but not too much, because they've been getting me some decent prices at least. 1 ore for 3 meat? Meh. Sure, why not? Maybe that'll get us faster. Alright, so here's the big moment. We're going to go ahead and build that starport. Pretty non-automated, but no big graphics thing. So with this, we're going to go ahead and allow visitors. Basically most visitors are going to just be like visitors coming in using facilities. If we get a radio tower up, we'll actually be able to provide emergency services like, what do you want to call it? Like medical services, or pretty much just medical services, I believe. I don't think there is any other emergency services. Nobody's like running from the law or anything. Let me see if I can redo this, because I believe there's a larger one. Yeah. So once this is complete, we'll probably call it a day. But it took forever to get that one up, and I actually ended up trading some items for some metal. It'll just be 1 sec while we wait for that to get all set up. Alright, so it looks like with this starport, we're actually having a bit of a power issue now. So, uh-oh. Go ahead and turn that off for now. And then I'm going to go ahead and try to fix this power issue. However we can, I guess. But we're going to have to wait till sunrise probably to get the power situated. and that will require more metal. So let's see. I think for now we'll call it a day, but we definitely have some work to do whenever we get back, and I'll just continue and split this into a couple episodes. So with that, thanks for joining me. As usual, remember to like, subscribe, or share if you enjoyed this, and any other video that you enjoyed. But do whatever you need to do to catch the next one, because it'll just be coming right after this one. But until then, you guys have a good one.